Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory to where it's due. To Yahweh Bahashim Yahshua Bahashim HaKadosh. Giving our glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and who tell us truth. Salutations to the elders, the hopeful elect, and the prophets who have been reborn, who are preaching this truth and edifying the brother and sister while Saturday diligence, preaching down for his kingdom, and feeding the lamb and the sheep, which Yahweh commanded to do. And salutations to the elect scattered abroad. Today, your brother Ayawab come back at you today with another lesson entitled The Basic Curses. I'm not going to get into all of them. One, because you all won't know or understand all of them. And two, I'm not knowledgeable on all of them, but I know the basic ones. And the churches ain't going to come in here and tell you the curses. They ain't going to read you the curses that was brought upon the Israelites. They're not going to tell you what would happen to them if they disobeyed the commandments. They're not going. All they're going to do is tell you about how God loved everybody, Jesus loved everybody, and how Jesus died on the cross for everybody. And they're going to bring out some loving scriptures that was really only for the Israelites. So they're not going to go in here they're not going to go deep into the Bible. All they're going to do is sing, yell hallelujah, and bring out two scriptures. Not even that the Most High has, like about loving. They'll bring out John 3:16, Philippians 4:13, scriptures like that, loving scriptures. And really, John 3:16 ain't even about them. So they don't even know the scriptures. But I'm just going to get right into it. So I'm going to read Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. And that shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken. You know what, I'm going to bring out this first. Deuteronomy. I think it's this one. Oh, here they go. They was doing this the other day too. It wouldn't just go to it. Let's try it like this. Cause I don't know what's going on with them. So this is Deuteronomy 14 verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon earth. Let's look up that word peculiar, because he said we are peculiar people. And holy means to be separate. Let me see if I can find that precept. Possessing property, valued property, peculiar treasure. We're special, jewel. Proper, good, special, wealthy. Let me see if I can find this precept. Salakia. Bear with me a little bit. Going through my notes real quick. Salakia. I should know this. One moment. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. For thou art an holy people, and we're peculiar people. It probably ain't gonna work. So let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. There's that word holy again. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord has chosen the Israelites to be his chosen people above all nations that are upon the earth. Let's see if it says what that word holy means. For thou art an holy, Slaki, sacred, holy, saint, set apart. So we're set apart from these other nations. We're not supposed to be in the customs of this world. I wish it would look up. They always doing something. Esau already doing something. How do I look up? Oops. How do I look up? Because I don't want to just go through every book and just keep on pressing. Nope. Damn. If not, I just give them. Because you can't, it won't let you. There we go. Kind of. Leviticus 20 and 26. And ye shall be, Leviticus 20 verse 26, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. He separated us from these other people. He cut us off from these other people, so that we could be holy, so that we could be perfect, so that we could be his chosen people, and we not go for the custom of this world. But he separated us. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. And then he gives us blessings if we kept his commandments, and that we'd be above all nations if we listen to him, if we kept his commandments. Now this is Deuteronomy verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, if we don't follow his command, if we don't listen to his voice, so if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So the Lord said, if you don't listen, if you don't follow my commandments, if you don't listen, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And that's what I'm going to get into. Let's go to the first curse. Curse shall that, verse 16. Curse shall that be in the city, and curse shall that be in the field. When you look at today's society, who's cursed in the city? Who's cursed in the field? The so-called Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Negroes, where do the majority of Negroes and Latinos live? In the slums, in the ghettos, in the apartments, the roach-filled apartments, bedbug-filled apartments. They don't, you got some Jakes who live nice, who live upstandard, but the majority of Jakes live in the ghettos and the slums. In the ghettos, slums, run down apartments. I don't know why it's all. That's where that's where they have put God's chosen people. That's where we're from. That's what, and we love it. We don't care. They put us in these. They put us in these backward societies, in these rundown places where they don't want to live. When we're, as the Lord said, we're supposed to be above all nations, that we're special people. Does this look like special people to you? But because we didn't follow His commandments, we was cursed. And this is a curse. This is a curse that we should be in the ghettos and the slums, and cursed in the city. And then you got the Native Americans. Look, in 1820, this is all the land that they owned. This is all the land, all the Native American land. Now look, now today it says present Indian reservations. Look at where what they have. They have all this. They had all this. In 1820, they had all this. Now look, they dwindled it down to reservations. This is where the majority of Native Americans have been sent to, have dwindled down to, from this to more over half of America, Babylon, and then now it's dwindled down to this because the so-called white man is wicked. Because the so-called white man has taken from us. And also it's a curse. Curse shall that be in the city. Native Americans has dwindled down to this when they owned all this. And then it says, curse shall that be in the field. Who was cursed in the field? And with so-called black man picking cotton days on end, decades on end, and even centuries. Have the little baby out there picking cotton, man. Come on now. Come on now. And don't forget about the so-called Mexican. Today, they in the fields too today. On the farms, the horse farms. We have a horse farm where I live. And that's where the Mexicans live. They live like the so-called white man has built like little houses for them so they can stay on the farm and do farm stuff. Look, got the little kid out there, little Mexican boy out there, little Latino. They even got the Mexicans out in the fields today. The curses are real, man. Go back. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30. I'm not going to go through all of them. This is Deuteronomy 28 verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. So what is that talking about? That's talking about you shall marry a wife, and then you're going to have another dude who lies with her, who's going to lay with her. You know, you hear all these songs about, I'm going to take your bitch. I'm going to lay with your bitch. And, all this adultery, wickedness. And they not lying. They actually going to do it. They don't care about the Most High. They don't care about His commandments. They actually going to do it. That's all I got on that one. But you shall marry a wife. Betroth. Let's see what that word betroth means real quick. That shall betroth. Engage. A spouse. Engaged for matrimony. So you shall take a wife. And that's That's happening all day. That's probably happening right now, for all we know. More than likely. Because it's a curse. And women don't care to lie with other men while they have a husband. Because they're wicked. It's Deuteronomy 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. What is that talking about? During the slave days, uh, did not we have children? And then they would sell our children to other. You live in Philadelphia, and you have a child during the slave days. They're gonna sell your child to Georgia, all the way across the country. Let's see if I can find something. Doubt they have anything. No. Here's something. Here. Perfect. Let's read that again. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. And that's what's happening in this picture. Exactly what's happening. They selling that baby. Man, that's making me mad. They selling that baby. And she's begging, saying, please don't sell my baby. Please don't take my baby. And there's no might in her hands. They don't care. They're wicked. It's the curses that was brought upon us. You see, you got these people in chains over here. He's probably saying, yeah, I'll buy that baby. I'll buy that black baby. That nigger baby. See? Look at all this. Probably just sold her. Sell. This is wicked, man. Wicked, man. Let's see if there's any more. See? Begging. Great bargaining. Sale of Negroes, horses, and cattle. They're selling us with the horses and the cattle. Selling us like we're animals. Oh, the perfect picture. Barakatah Yahweh outside. But we shall have children, and thine eyes shall fail. Shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. Cause we couldn't do nothing about it. It's a curse. Deuteronomy 28 verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. We didn't know this land. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And that's what we do. We serve Islam, Muslim, baptism, Christianity. We serve all these other gods, other than the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahusha. Y'all serve that cross. Jesus on the cross. That's who y'all serve. And then the stone, which is Muslim. Islam. Y'all pray to a stone, man. Verse 37, thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. That byword is, let's see what that word byword means. Taunt. So they taunt us by calling us other names than who we actually are. African American, Afro American, African, niggers, niggas, Negroes, wetbacks, rednecks, all that. And now we're the laughing stock of this kingdom because we are cursed because we didn't listen to the Lord's commandments. Verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. And that's what happened. We have sons and daughters, and we shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. They shall work. They're in captivity here. How can you enjoy your children when you know that they're going to go into slavery, into captivity? You can't. You can't, man. Verse 43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's what happened. The stranger the so-called white man has got up very high, and thou shalt come down very low when they're the ones supposed to be very low. And that's what happened. It's the curses. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And that's what it's talking about. Seeing the servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. That's what happened during the slave days. You seen the so-called white man ride upon the horses giving out orders when they're supposed to be the servants. And then you see the princes, the kings, and the priests on the ground walking as slaves with no might in their hand. Verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart and for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger. When you hungry, what you gotta go to? The store, Walmart, all these food stores, Kroger. When you hungry, you gotta go to them. Who owns them? Who owns them? So-called white men. And thirst, same thing. When you're thirsty, where you gotta go? To the store, to the so-called white man. And nakedness, when you need clothes, when you need new clothes, new shoes, new socks, where you gotta go to? So-called white man. You gotta go to their stores, goodies, the mall, Route 21, all these stores. And in one of all things, if you want a car, where you gotta go to? The so-called white man. If you need a new social security card, a birth certificate, a new driver's license, where you gotta go to? The so-called white man. Anything that you need. And you may say, well, they're black-owned businesses. How'd they get them businesses? They had to buy the land. Either they had to buy the land, and then they had to, or they could have bought a building that was already built there. And how? From the so-called white man. You gotta buy land. You're not gonna buy land. Say, well, how am I gonna buy this land? How am I gonna get this land? You gotta buy it from the so-called white man. You need this building to start a business. You gotta buy it from the so-called white man. Anything that you need and want. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he had destroyed thee. And that's what they did. They put yokes of iron upon thy neck. Our enemies put yokes of iron upon. Who put yokes of iron upon our necks? The so-called white man. The so-called all these other nations. Put yokes of iron upon our neck. Like we're animals. Look at this. That's how they had us. Like we some savages when they're the savages. when they're the savages. And he destroyed us. The Lord shall bring it, verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flight, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We didn't understand their tongue. We didn't understand what they were saying. We knew Hebrew. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And that's what happened. They didn't care. They didn't care if you was old. They didn't care if you was young. That you gonna go out there and pick at cotton. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care, man. They're wicked, evil, abominable, ungodly. They didn't care, and they don't care today. Rape, showing favor to the young. They didn't care if your daughter was 13. They gonna rape her. Don't they even rape the men, beat up the men. They didn't care. Slept with your wife, all this wicked stuff, and you gonna tell me that we don't deserve recompense? That we don't deserve to do unto them as they've done unto us? Let's see if I think there's a scripture with that in it. Do unto them. I'm just gonna get this. I think it's. I know this ain't gonna. We'll come back. Revelation 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So they led us into captivity. They shall go into captivity. I'm almost done. Galatians 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So they gonna reap what they sowed. Point blank, period. They didn't show favor to us. Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So let's just get to that first part. So that a man that is tender among you. So we loved our brother. All our brothers. All the Israelites. We loved each other. And then the curses came upon us, and now we're in the Bloods, in the Crips, all these different gangs. And when we see each other, and if you're not in that clique, you might get shot. You might get gunned down by your brother. You might, or he gonna give you an evil eye. You might get jumped. You don't know, because they're evil in your eyes towards each other. Why? Because it's curses, because we did not follow his commandments. It's crazy, man. These curses are real. You walk down the street, and if you walk in the hood, if you in the ghettos, in the hoods, and you just now moving there, and you walk down the street, and you pass a so-called black man, he's gonna look at you and be like, "Who the fuck are you, nigga? Where the fuck you come from? What you rep, cuz? All that folly." And even in the I was on a video game one time, and I was talking to this Latino dude, and then he said, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Kentucky." And he said, "Well," he said, "what do Mexicans and how do Mexicans and black people view each other?" And there, I said, "We're friends. We don't got no beef with them or nothing. We cool with each other." And then I said, what about you? He said, oh, no, we hate the black people down here. We hate them, and they hate us. See, that's evil eyes toward your brothers. Even, and that was in Los Angeles or in California somewhere. They said they hated each other. They couldn't stand to look at each other. And that might just be in his area, but that's just what the dude told me. And then toward the wife of his bosom and the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And that's what happens. You know, so-called black dads, they get a girl pregnant, then they just leave. They don't want to take care of the baby. They don't care. I'm trying to get through this because I got about to get ready for work. Verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods which thou nor thy fathers have known, even with a stone. And that's what happened. The Lord scattered us among all people, from one end of the earth to the other. You see Jake's in Australia, Jake's in Europe, Iraq, all them Middle Eastern places. In the UK, you see Jakes everywhere because we're scattered among the nations in Germany. Verse 68, and here's the main one right here. This is a curse that was brought upon the Israelites. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. What's Egypt? So the Lord redeemed us from Egypt. It ain't even gonna give it to me. The Lord redeemed us from Egypt through the Red. He brought us through the Red Sea, and then gave us the commandments on Mount Sinai. And then the Lord said, "If thou shalt not hearken, that you gonna go." So you came out of Egypt on foot, but you gonna go back into Egypt on ships. And what's Egypt? Egypt. Exodus 20 verse 2, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt is spiritually referenced as bondage, slavery. So the Lord said, you're going to go back into slavery on ships. And I ain't even got to pull up a picture, and I'm not going to. Who went into slavery on ships? The so-called black man, Latino, Native American. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto you, that shall see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And I seen that picture that said, sell for Negroes' cattle, for sale to our enemies. And nobody saved us. We're still in this captivity today. Let me get this, and then I'm gonna end it. This is Jeremiah. Where's it at? Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy inheritance that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land that thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. And that's what happened. We are in a land that we know not. But first of all, I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory to where it's due, to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshua B'Hashem Arakakadas, giving our glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh, double honor to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught us truth. Salutations and Shalom to the elders, the elect, and that have been scattered abroad, and Shalom to all the faithful servants of the Most High. Lord willing, this video is edifying, and Lord willing, you see that we are God's chosen people, and that we're cursed, and that we got to come back to these curses, man. Till next time, Shalom. Kwame Ashala.